What's going on, people? Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tottenham. How are you guys doing out there? It's always nice to speak after a North London derby win, friendly or no friendly, pre-season or no pre-season. It's just great to get a win over those lot, isn't it? Always.
Yeah, it was nice, especially we dominated. I thought we definitely were the better side throughout the game. Got the snatched out runner-up spot in the Mine series. That's the main thing. Second place, very nice runners-up medal. So look, I was happy after yesterday. I thought we played quite well. Arsenal looked, apart from a spell in the first half, I didn't think they didn't show much, did they? So, yeah, I was pretty happy with it.
We'll get into the game in more depth in a bit, but let's talk about the main headline today, and that is about Lautaro and Martinez. We broke the news yesterday on WeAreTottenhamTV that we had agreed a fee with Lautaro Martinez, which was seemed to be true, but the snag in that deal is Lukaku at the end of the day, and you mentioned it last week, saying this Lukaku deal probably means that Lautaro Martinez will be staying at Inter Milan, and that does seem the case, doesn't it?
At the moment, that's how I felt about it. I did mention it yesterday on the update video that the Lukaku deal is probably going to kill this deal, and it seems as though that Inter now have got enough money to stave off their financial troubles with a big deal for Lukaku. How I probably envisage how the situation went. They were probably desperate to sell. Clearly, we know they're in massive trouble monetarily. So they probably thought that with Lukaku being one of the best strikers in Europe right now, at 28 years of age, and his price being 100 million, they probably didn't think anyone was going to come in for him for that. They probably thought he was the one who was going to stay, and Lautaro was going to go for about 60, 70 million euros. Seeing as he's a bit younger, maybe not as good right now as Lukaku, and he's more sellable. What they probably didn't. This is why probably Tottenham got an agreed deal a week ago when that was the situation. And then I think when Chelsea, surprised everyone by bidding 100 million for Lukaku, I think it took Inter by surprise more than anyone. And I think now that's put to bed any thoughts of letting Lautaro go, because they got 100 million now, and I can't envisage them being in that much financial trouble. They need to sell more than that. I think maybe it's just a case of they're still open to selling Lautaro, but the price has gone up. That's probably the case.
Do you see, because I mean, they're heavily linked with Edin Dzeko. It looks like they're going to get him over the line. Heavily linked with Dusan Zapata as well of Atalanta. And I heard some murmurings about they might be looking at Anthony Martial as well. If they can sell a Lautaro Martinez for around 70, 80 million, get those other two strikers, which looks like they will get over the line, Zapata and Dzeko, and get a Martial for like 40 million. I mean, that could work in their, not in their favour in terms of, because Martinez is a much better player than Martial, but it could work like that. It could work out still.
I think the price has gone up. That's what I think. I think they'll probably be prepared to sell for about 60 million euros plus add-ons. Now Lukaku's gone, they're not as desperate as they were. So all of a sudden, they're probably going to add. That's why DiMarzio, I think, said that Tottenham's offer is about 20 million short of what they wanted, because I think they were prepared to take 60, and now it's all 70 million. Now it's about 90, I reckon. So if that's the case, then can I see Spurs spending that on him? Could I see Levy spending that on him? I don't know. It's difficult. Maybe if we sell Kane and he is a replacement, then I think it's more possibility. These strikers you mentioned, I think Dzeko's a clear replacement for Lukaku. In terms of Zapata and Martial, if they get both of them, maybe there's an opportunity. But I think even if they only get one of them, they're still because you can go into a season with 3 strikers. That's normal. So I don't see unless they're spending big money on Zapata, which would mean they need to.
Do they not have any other strikers there anyway? I
don't know. Inter Milan squad right now, I don't know if they have what strikers apart from Lukaku and Martinez they have. I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head who they have.
But it's interesting because Alistair Gold still talking about this morning. He still seems quite positive that this is a deal that can get over the line.
Did he?
He's saying that Lautaro Martinez is keen to join up with his international teammates at White Hart Lane or at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but personal terms have not been agreed yet. So he's not.
You're pick and choosing the updates, because he also said after Lukaku saying Inter are now extremely reluctant to sell. He also said that.
Oh, he said that?
Yeah.
The Spurs Express don't like to pull that one up.
Yeah, that's what he also said. So it says here in terms of centre forwards that they have, it says they have a few, but they seem to be youngsters. They do class Alexis Sanchez as a centre forward. Mm-hmm. Don't seem to have many. It does really just seem to be Martinez and Lukaku at the moment. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, look, I just think this is extremely unlikely now, unless we stump up bigger money than we were going to.
How surprising is it that we're putting those kind of bids in?
Yeah, I mean, especially since Kane future's still up in the air. I think all this talk, I've got a feeling all this talk about Kane, Nuno wanting to play two up top with Kane, and Martinez was to play with Kane, not replacing Kane. I think it's all rubbish. I think it's a negotiation thing. Yeah, I think that's just pumping that to the press to kind of the selling club to kind of put doubt in their mind whether we're actually going to get rid of Kane and whether we do have as much money as they think we might have. So I do think if we're signing Martinez for that amount of money, he's going to be a replacement. I don't think he's going to be to play with Kane, especially given that we've played 4-3-3 throughout the whole of pre-season. I find it hard to believe he's going to want to change that to 4-4-2 or whatever it is during the season. Maybe he will. Maybe we're going to be more malleable, but I just feel like it's a bit of a negotiation tactic. And in terms of Martinez, I think last week we probably saw it as a very good opportunity to get him in, to get a march on the competition for a decent price, seeing as Inter Milan was strapped for cash. So we probably saw it as an opportunity, and now I think we've missed that opportunity because yet again Chelsea has screwed us over. I feel that's what I feel.
Yeah, it does feel that way. It really does. I mean, I don't know. I've still hold a tiny bit of hope that this can happen.
There is a tiny bit of hope if we stump up about 90 million euros and Inter Milan sign Martial and sign Zapata. There's a bit of hope, but I think the likelihood is it's not going to happen. That's the likelihood.
I mean, it would be lovely to go for someone like Milan Skriniar, if they would let him go for a big fee, you know what I mean? Because imagine having Skriniar and Romero as a centre-back partnership next season.
We can all dream.
Yeah.
We can all dream. But I think Chelsea seem to be getting them out of trouble. So I don't know. I just think with, first of all, though, you also got to remember the ultras were protesting Lukaku sell, right? If they then sell Martinez on top of that, for 60, 70 million, that's also going to cause a big stink. And look, as much as they're in financial trouble, they got to put some sort of team out next season, don't they? So I just can't envisage that they're going to sell both. I really can't. From a PR standpoint, it's a disaster selling both of them. For their fans, like they got to do something. They got to appease their fans in some way, and if it means keeping one of the striker.
We don't know the story behind the scenes. We don't know how cash strapped they actually are. Yes, they're getting a lot of money in for Lukaku, but we don't know. We don't know the full story. Apparently, they still owe Man United money for Lukaku. Apparently, they really are in dire financial straits. Look, I'm not claiming to know the extent of it.
They are in dire financial straits, but getting 100 million. I mean, should go some way to help.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We don't know. We don't know the full story. We don't know haven't seen their books. We don't know how bad it is or how good it is. We don't know.
Well, the fact that we agreed a deal and then all of a sudden they're saying, oh, actually we're reluctant to sell, tells me that the Lukaku deal has definitely made a big difference.
Yeah. I think I think you're right. Obviously, it has made a difference. There's no two ways about that. But I think, look, we're on the same thinking that if we do stump up a bit more money, then we can get this over the line. I genuinely believe that. But we don't know what that figure is at the end of the day. Like you're saying, 90 million, could be 80 million, could be 85 million, could be anything. Really could be anything.
Well, it can't be anything. It's only a certain amount of things it can be.
Could even be 100 million. It could be anything.
I don't think about it. I think I won't take 100 million. I reckon about 90, probably. that probably, I think about 20 million more than we offered, because I think we offered 70 million plus add-ons, I believe, or something like that. So
Sean Fitzgerald says they're seriously linked with Dzeko, Martial, Correa, and Zapata. So Correa in there as well.
Yeah,
so
Correa is also linked. We're linked with Inter Milan. Look,
so
maybe there's more
if they
legs
can
with
get
it.
rid of Lautaro Martinez and make a bit of profit and bring those strikers in at the same time, maybe it will do good for them.
Yeah, maybe, but I just feel like there was an really serious opportunity,
But
and
we didn't
I
even
think
know it at the time.
yeah, we didn't know it. I mean, Spurs knew it, and I think
Yeah, but I mean,
the fans
saying
didn't know
the
it.
fans.
I think there was a serious opportunity, and now because of Lukaku's deal, it's become a remote possibility now, and that's the situation. So it's unfortunate that Chelsea have stumped us, but I just think it's so. I don't think it's impossible. I just think it's extremely unlikely. It's gone from very possible to extremely unlikely, basically, after this Chelsea deal. So we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. How the Kane thing plays out. Are we going to really spend, a bigger portion of the Kane money on Martinez? Are we really going to do that? Maybe.
I mean, the ideal, it would be ideal, completely ideal. Tell me 2 strikers that you would like to bring in to replace Kane, then Vlahovic and Martinez. There isn't.
I mean, that would be ideal in terms of 2 realistic players. That would be ideal, yeah. So that would be great. But then that's probably you're probably looking at all the Kane money on them.
Yeah, but I would do
Probably.
that. I genuinely would. Would you not?
But then if that means not signing anyone else, I mean, yeah, I guess. Look, you got to do what you got to do when it comes to replacing strikers. You got to do what if you're selling Kane for 150, you're swapping Kane for Vlahovic and Martinez. I don't think it's the ideal scenario, but I think it's the best you can do in terms of replacing Kane. But then all of a sudden, I think you're getting those 2 strikers in. But then, are you not going to get then a centre back on the right back? You know what I mean? Are you foregoing that?
Well, we are trying to sell Winks. We're trying to sell Sissoko, Aurier. That's still wages off the wage bill.
Yeah.
You can get good money in for Sanchez, good money in for Winks. That can fund a new centre back.
Yeah. I guess if that's still possible for me, if it means basically what I'm saying is I'd probably rather get one of those 2, and then another top class centre back probably, because then you could also have the possibility of having Son up front, and then in the future get another striker in, rather than blowing it on 2 strikers and neglecting what is a very crucial element of our team right now, which is the centre back position.
Yeah. I genuinely think we can do it all. I really do think we could do it all. Maybe not over.
You're a dreamer.
I know I'm a dreamer. I'm also a Football Manager player, but
you can do it on Football Manager in one season, one window. That's for sure.
Yeah, maybe not one window, but I would. I mean, the opportunity to get 2 players in like Vlahovic and Martinez is almost too tempting to not take up.
Someone said, "What about an Ndombele swap deal?"
Ndombele, man.
No, but he hasn't played pre-season.
Yeah. Well, Nuno commented on it last night.
Yeah, he said he's not injured, but he's not ready to join the team or something.
Yeah.
Didn't bode well. I tell you what, if this was last summer and it was Mourinho, everyone would be saying, "Oh, Mourinho this about treating Ndombele and he's divisive and stuff like that." Because it's Nuno, everyone's on Nuno's side and not on Ndombele's side.
And I get it, man. I saw the pictures of Ndombele when he came back to training, and he didn't look ready to play football. I'll tell you that. He didn't look ready to play football, and I kind of understand why he's not in the team. And I kind of. The thing is with Jose and Ndombele, it came after a year of Ndombele being at Spurs, and now Ndombele's been at Spurs for 3 years, 2 years.
This is
2 years. He's going into his 3rd year. So I mean, it's kind of like with Ndombele, we've been here and done that before with him, and we know kind of maybe it's not the manager's fault now.
That's the thing. It's hard to know, isn't it? We obviously don't know specifics of what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know why exactly he's not being picked. If it's a fitness issue or whatnot, we don't know. But it could be an attitude issue, could be a fitness issue. We don't know. We just don't know. That's the truth. But if Inter would accept Ndombele plus 20 million or something for Martinez.
I want to keep Tanguy, man. I think Tanguy is such a talent. It's just such a shame to waste it. I mean, I'm willing to give him one more season. I really am.
What about if we sold Kane, did a deal with Inter, 20 million plus Ndombele for Martinez, and then we have an extra 130 million to sign a centre back, another centre mid? Is that not like maybe a right back? Like, is that not?
It could be a good move. It could be a good move, but I think that the ceiling that Ndombele has, you know he'll go somewhere else and he'll be one of the best midfielders in the world, and
he has that potential.
He has that potential to be literally the best midfielder in the world, in my opinion. So, I think any money that we sell him for now can be seen as a loss in a few years' time. So I would like to keep Ndombele. I would like to keep the faith in him. I know, I think his goodwill might be running out at some point if it doesn't.
What if he's not? What if he wants to leave?
If he wants to leave, then he wants to leave. Then he should go if he wants to leave. But if we can keep him and we can get him on side and we can get him to the top of his game, you can't sign anyone in that position that's going to be better than him.
Yeah. Well, it's not better. Maybe not better, but maybe more effective.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, when he's playing, he is irresistible to watch. He is completely irresistible. I watched a highlights reel someone put on Twitter of all his good moments last season. Bro, it was one of the best videos I've seen.
Yeah,
one of the best videos I've seen. I mean,
he's the best at dribbling in the league, I think. The
guy is a magician. He's an absolute magician with the ball at his feet. And I just feel like letting him go this summer will really bite us in the arse.
Especially, I think, playing a 4-3-3 maybe could really suit him properly. And maybe it could really unlock the best out of him. But we'll have to wait and see in terms of the Martinez deal. I think it looks unlikely at the moment. It's on the rocks. It was a nice half an hour yesterday when it looked like we'd actually agreed a deal for him now. Yeah. And then it all came out, actually, it was a week ago. And I was like, oh, great.
So classic.
Great. But it is what it is. Unfortunately, with Martinez, hopefully things change and go over the window. But at the moment, I wouldn't get too excited about it. Yeah,
it's a shame. It's a shame because I really thought we were onto something. It seemed as though Don Paratici had Levy locked in a basement with his with just his credit card coming out and his eyes, his hands tied behind his back and whatever.
Apparently, Paratici convinced Levy that Martinez is definitely a player worth pushing the boat out for.
With a gun to his head.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently, he convinced him he's definitely a player worth pushing the boat out, and then so Levy agreed to that he would pay the money, but yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Feels nice though to have someone that can actually convince Levy of something.
Yeah, hopefully, maybe
it bodes well though. Us putting in that kind of bid for Martinez bodes well.
It does. Hopefully for the future. Does it bode well for Kane leaving? Maybe not.
Look, like I said, if we can get a Vlahovic and Martinez for a guy that wants out, yes, best striker, one of the best strikers in the world right now, but he wants to leave at the end of the day. And if we can get two players in that want to come and play for Tottenham, and they're as of the quality levels of them two, I don't think we can get much better.
Should we move on to Harry Kane then?
Yeah, let's move on to Harry Kane. I think it's not the next one, it's the one after, Sam. Let's move on to Harry Kane because he is set to have showdown talks with Nuno Santo today. Nuno made it very clear it's going to be a social distanced meeting.
Did he?
Yeah, he made it very clear because Harry Kane is going through an isolation period at the moment.
Don't want Nuno isolating for our first game of the season.
Yeah, at Spurs Lodge. What do you think is going to come out of this meeting today?
Yeah, I mean, clearly Kane's going to make it clear, I reckon, that he would much prefer a move to Man City. I think that's definitely the first thing on the order. The only question is whether Nuno can get out of him, whether if he does stay, he's going to be fully committed and going to try his absolute hardest for the team. I think that's the main thing. There are reports saying if Kane makes it clear that he doesn't want to have a future at all at Tottenham, then Nuno will push for the move. That's what the reports are saying. And if Nuno pushes for the move, because Kane extremely wants out, does that force Levy's hand even more? Potentially. If you've got a manager saying, look, it's best to sell him, does that force Levy's hand?
I still think Daniel Levy won't budge on his price. I genuinely believe that. I don't think Daniel Levy's budging on his price for anyone this summer. He knows he can get 150, 160 million. I don't think there's any way he's taking a penny less than maybe 140 or something. Maybe 130 minimum. Max or minimum? Max.
Minimum, you mean?
Minimum.
130 minimum.
Yeah, minimum.
Yeah. But apparently City are prepared to pay 130.
I mean, I think he only goes to that price if Nuno makes it clear that Harry Kane's not going to play for him this season.
Yeah.
But I don't think Harry Kane will make that clear.
You think he'll? What do you think? What do you think he's?
I don't think Harry Kane will go to Nuno, like what he said in his statement. Like he wants to make out like he's a Tottenham boy and he won't skip training. What do you think? Do you think he skipped training or not?
God knows. I mean, he wasn't at training.
Yeah. Was
So
he
we know
actually due
that.
back though?
I don't know. I don't know whether I can't decide whether this is of a way of whether the whole. I can't decide whether the whole him skipping training and stuff, whether Tottenham made a stink out of it, so that when they do sell Kane, maybe it's a lot more palatable for the fans, or whether Kane is lying in a statement on Friday to try and get the fans on side in case he stays. I can't decide which one is true. I think it's one of those two. It has to be, because either Kane's lying or the club's lying. It's one of the two.
At the end of the day, Harry Kane did not write that statement, did he?
Well, we know that, but he obviously agreed to it.
Yeah.
You know, he's not going to let any statement go out in his name without him knowing exactly what's being said.
Yeah, but there's two ways you can look at it. There's one way, like Harry Kane, reads a statement and says, yes, okay, that's okay to go out. Or the people around him, his advisors, are advising him what to say and kind of not putting words in his mouth. Well, yeah, putting words in his mouth, but kind of convincing him what to put out there to get the fans on side, kind of thing.
I think that's unlikely.
I mean, anything's likely at this stage.
I don't think Kane would have agreed to anything he didn't want to be said. So I think Kane has given his seal of approval for any statement that's been made. I think that. So I don't think we can look at that statement and say that's not Kane. I think that is Kane. That is what he said.
It could be Kane, just Charlie Kane.
No, I think it's Harry Kane. I do think that. I don't think it's a possibility Kane agrees to that, which he didn't want to be said. It's some people said it's telling that none of the first team players liked his post. Apparently, I don't know. I haven't seen that for myself.
Yeah, I saw youth players liked it, and the players that had left had liked it. Joe Hart and who else?
Lamella.
And
I think
Lamella,
Lamella commented on it. I mean, it's hard to know. It really is difficult to know what is true. Apparently, I've heard a rumor that he asked the club that if he could have an extended break. They said no, and he took it anyway. That's what one rumor I've heard as well. Mm-hmm. I don't know whether that's true. The thing is, we just don't know the specifics, and the specifics are quite important because for a player like Harry Kane, such a good professional, to miss training is a big deal. It is a big deal. So we want to know if it was planned, if with what he agreed with the club when he was coming back.
Tottenham have said nothing at all.
They haven't said anything about the situation. There's rumours that from Dan Kilpatrick and whatnot saying that Tottenham were very, very disappointed and angry about his actions on Monday. But are they pumping out that message so that it's more palatable to sell him? I don't know. I don't know whether they're pumping out that message for that. Or are they? I don't know. It's difficult.
A very hard situation to read. It really is.
We don't know. So we don't know who's mostly in the wrong. At the moment, it does seem like Kane is lying. I'm not going to lie. It does seem like that. That's the most likely scenario. Kane is lying. It's a PR thing to try and get the fans on side in case he stays. And he did miss training to try and force remove, but now he's back, and if the move doesn't go through, he's going to try and come reintegrate into the squad. That's from what we can see, from the information we have, that's the most likely scenario. Is it possible that we are going to sell Kane and Tottenham and Spurs are trying to create a bit of tension between the fans and Kane, just so that when we do sell him, then that all the fans aren't going crazy at Levy because we're selling our best player? Is that possible? Because we've done that before and everyone goes mad at Levy for selling. That's a possibility, but it's more unlikely. So that is probably the Kane thing is probably him being in the wrong. Probably that's what I would have to say.
That's what it seems like. I mean, that's the kind of I think that's the kind of vibe all the Spurs fans get right now.
It's just you can never trust Levy, can you?
That's the thing.
You can never. He's a PR.
It's so hard to back Levy over Harry Kane, no matter what comes out.
It's so difficult.
Like you can't.
Because you know, first of all, Levy's done this a million times from a PR standpoint, done this kind of stuff. It is nowhere near beyond the realms of possibility that Levy does these PR things to maneuver.
He's a non-stop PR machine, Daniel Levy. Literally non-stop. Anything that comes out is some sort of way to get the upper hand in the PR game. You know what I mean?
That's why you can never rule out that that's a possibility.
Yeah.
You can never. But it's just more unlikely. You have to say that. It is definitely more unlikely. So, but then again, you know, Kane of who he is, like, to have missed training like that and then to lie about it is just strange.
Did Ali Gold say anything about Harry missing training, about the club being upset?
He didn't say anything about the club being upset, but all he said was Tottenham expected him back on Monday and he didn't show. That's what he said. But obviously he gets his info from the club, so he's getting pretty much a line from what the club's... Obviously he's getting what Levy wants him to get, basically, is my point.
But I was hearing... Didn't Alistair Gold say at the time of the... I think I heard... I don't know if I heard something on social media or I heard something from Ali Gold. I can't remember where I heard it from, but there was a case that since Simon Felstein has left Tottenham, Ali Gold was getting a bit less information from the club.
Oh, really?
That's what I've heard.
Well, I know, yeah. So I know Felstein left, a couple months ago now. Maybe that was a thing. Maybe. I've got no idea.
That's what I've heard. And look, I don't know how true that is. I'm just putting out the information that I heard. So I don't know. But it's a very, very confusing situation at the moment. It
was a bizarre statement.
It was.
It was a bizarre statement in the circumstances. Apparently... Who said it? I can't remember what sources. They said Tottenham and some of the first team players apparently were left bemused by Harry Kane's statement.
Yeah. Who was that from?
I can't remember. who it was from. But again, is that the line Tottenham want to give out, or is that the truth? I don't know. It's hard to know in these situations because it's happened. It's not just Tottenham. This has happened. It's happened a million times where a player wants out. And the club manufacture that the player's forcing his way out, just so when they sell him, like the fan base don't turn against the hierarchy. It's happened at a number of other clubs. Spurs wouldn't be the first people to do that.
Yeah.
So it's happened at a number of clubs. So I don't know.
At the end of the day, we're just going to have to wait and see how this one plays out. I mean, we don't have any rock solid information that we can even go on, do we? We got the information that Tottenham are giving out, which out without even speaking themselves. It's just like information behind closed doors, giving out to these different agencies. You know, Dan Kilpatrick, Ali Gold, all these different people. And then you've got Harry Kane with this statement which completely contradicts everything else. So, I mean, it's so impossible to tell. All we have to go on is to see how it plays out over the next couple of weeks, because right now we're just so in the dark and we just don't know anything.
We're in limbo. Hopefully, maybe there's more clarity after these talks with Nuno. That's what I got hope for. According to... the Evening Standard, City remain convinced that they will sign Harry Kane even if a deal cannot be struck before the start of the season. City refused to enter negotiations for Messi to focus their full attention on a potential 150 million deal for Harry Kane. So they still seem confident, it seems, that a deal for Kane can be struck. As we've said all along, this deal is going to roll on probably till the latter stages of the window. So I wouldn't
the last seconds of the window.
Exactly. I wouldn't get ready for Kane's departure or any statement that he's staying just yet. I think there's a long way to go, and we'll have to see how it plays out over the whole window, because this is going to rumble on.
Yeah, definitely. So that's the Harry Kane situation. He is due to sit down, socially distance, with Nuno today for showdown talks. We've got a couple of members to welcome today. We've got Daniel Schultz. Welcome to Gold, my friend.
Big up, Daniel. Nice to see you, my friend.
And we had another one as well, but I can't seem to see it. It's gone now. Oh, we've got a super chat here from Vasiv Mamedov. He says, fan from... It's got a country's flag there, but I'm not too sure what country that is. Do you know what country that is? I can't see it.
No, I can't.
Anyway, let us know what country that flag is in the comment section.
Azerbaijan.
Is it Azerbaijan?
Yeah.
Fan from Azerbaijan. Who do you think our new centre-back will be? Well, obviously, we have signed Christian Romero.
Yeah, apart from him, I've got a horrible feeling. I've got a horrible feeling we're going to go and not sign another centre-back.
You think so?
Horrible feeling. I've got a feeling we're going to sign Tomiyasu. We're going to sell Aurier. And then we're going to basically justify not signing a centre-back by the fact we've got Tomiyasu in and he can play there. And he can play right back. I've just got this horrible nagging feeling that's going to be the case, and I hope I'm wrong.
I do think we're going to go for one. I mean, it's reported for everyone to see, saying after we signed Romero, the priority was a right back and a centre back. Yeah, is that all going to be covered by one player?
No, what I think's going to happen is there's going to be a target. I don't know who it is, but we're going to go. The media are going to play up that we're in advanced talks. We're really close to him. We're negotiating.
Skriniar, won't it?
There's going to be a good centre back, probably a Skriniar or something like that. It's going to be Tottenham are really going hard for this player, and then it'll be deadline day, and it's like Tottenham are going to get him or not, and then we'll end up not getting him. And it's going to be that whole big thing. We tried so hard. We're so close to getting him. What a signing that could have been. And we're going to go in without signing a new centre back. That's how I just got a feeling. And I feel like Sanchez might stay.
I'm not going to lie.
And I feel like Sanchez will stay.
Tottenham.
And our four will be Romero, Sanchez, Rodon, and Dyer for the season, with Tomiyasu supplementing it.
Well, talking about Sanchez, let's talk about the game like yesterday. Tottenham won, Arsenal 0 in the final pre-season before the season starts this weekend against Man City. I was there yesterday. It was great.
Nice atmosphere.
Great to be back. It was a nice atmosphere. It wasn't like that North London derby atmosphere, because obviously there was no Arsenal fans there. I mean, it was majority just like families and kids and whatever. So it was like a nice atmosphere there, nice friendly atmosphere. It was very good to be back. Grandpa was very happy to be back. If you haven't seen it, check out the vlog that we put out yesterday. A bit of a different style vlog than we have done in the past, but check it out. It was good fun to be back. And the way I assessed the game, I thought first 10-15 minutes we looked really good. We came out the blocks. I thought we looked really good, and then Arsenal just took control of that first half. In my opinion, I thought we looked really bad for the last 20 minutes of the first half. I really did. But then as soon as the second half started, I thought for that whole 45 minutes of the second half, we were on top of them. There was only one team that was going to score in that second half, and I thought we looked brilliant. We did. I thought we looked brilliant in that second half. I thought Lucas Moura was unbelievable yesterday. He was central to everything that was good coming through Spurs yesterday. I thought Japhet Tanganga looked really good at right back yesterday. I mean, that assist.
Brilliant.
He took Paulo Mari for a run yesterday.
Yeah,
didn't he?
and Pepe as well. For both of them, they couldn't handle him. I thought it was a that goal
showed that physicality, didn't he?
It was all about Tanganga, that goal.
Yeah.
All about Tanganga. He was absolutely brilliant. I must say, I was very, very impressed from Japhet yesterday. I thought he was super, super aggressive up against Aubameyang, always on him. Didn't give him a second to breathe. I thought apart from the goal, I don't think he had too many moments in the final third, but I thought defensively he was spot on, and I thought time after time he was getting in front of things, blocking things, making tackles, being really aggressive, and they couldn't get past him.
Yeah, and I think that when you look at Japhet Tanganga and you compare his performance to his performance against Chelsea, so we always say he's a natural centre-back and we want to see him more at centre-back, but he played centre-back against Chelsea, looked shaky. Played right-back against Arsenal, looked quite good.
Yeah, so I don't know, it's a friendlies, but it's hard to judge too much.
But it didn't really have a friendly atmosphere, both of these games.
I must say, especially the Arsenal game, I thought was really I guess both games, but I've said the Arsenal game,
a lot of
that was
so
many yellow cards and strong tackles. Yeah, Xhaka, I thought that as well. I thought it was a really hard-fought, contested battle yesterday, actually, and it was a really good game to watch. I really enjoyed it. Spurs definitely throughout the whole game, despite Arsenal having control, I thought for moments, I thought Tottenham definitely created the better chances, for sure. Dele hit the post twice. Son had a great save from Leno, which he should have scored before his goal. I thought a few moments, actually, Son had really good opportunities to get a shot off and goal, and he hesitated a bit too long. There was a couple moments on the breakaway he did that, and which was annoying. But I think hopefully against Man City, he'll be a bit sharper, and he did obviously end up taking his goal really, really well. I think Spurs, for the majority of the game, were the much better team. I think even in Arsenal's best moments, they barely created much. They had a few half chances. Lloris made a good save from Lacazette, and then the only other chance they had was late on when Saka went through, and Golini made a decent save. Other than that, they didn't really have anything, so they didn't look in great shape, to be fair. But I got to say, defensively, we were really, really sound.
I mean, Dyer and Sanchez had brilliant games.
I thought Dyer was especially good. I thought Sanchez also had a really good game. And as well, what I liked about Sanchez was he took a bit more responsibility with his passing. And actually, a few of his long-range passes were actually pretty decent. And I was pretty happy with that. Apparently, Ali Gold said today that Sanchez has come back from the Copa America in very confident mood, not just because of Colombia finishing third and him having a good tournament, but also because of Alistair Gold said also because of a lot of clubs being interested in him has given him confidence, apparently, that people actually think he's good and stuff like that, or something like that, kind of in that kind of something like that. So that was interesting to know about Sanchez.
It did show yesterday, because I did think, I was watching the game yesterday and I was thinking, Sanchez, he's got an air of confidence. I was actually thinking that yesterday, like he's got an air of confidence about him, and I thought Eric Dyer
was brilliant.
Anything that came his way got taken out. He was
brilliant.
Aerial ability was brilliant. Anything that came his way, he got it away. You can't really complain with those performances from the two centre backs yesterday. Reguilon, I thought there were a few iffy moments defensively in there from him, but I thought he got forward really well. Ollie Skip was really impressed with him.
I mean,
Skip in the first half, he did lose the ball in a few bad moments, but I thought he recovered well from it, and I thought he grew into the game as the game went on. And I thought similar with Højbjerg as well. I thought he had a bit of an iffy first half, but he grew into the game second half and put in a commanding performance.
Yeah, his passing seemed very controlled, Højbjerg. A lot of good switches of play, which weren't misplaced and stuff like that. And you got to say that clash. You saw that clash with Arteta on the touchline. That was brilliant. I think Arteta completely shat himself, I think, honestly. By the way, the whole thing was so bemusing because Arteta was just clearly in the wrong, like the whole way through.
I don't know what the argument was about. I just saw them.
So what happened was, ball was running out of play, right? Arteta is he's outside of his technical area, Arteta, and he's literally on the very close to the touchline. So the ball's running out of play. Højbjerg's running and sliding to keep it in. And he does a sliding challenge to keep the ball in, and he fails to keep the ball in, whatever. It goes slightly out of play. But as he's sliding, he basically nearly takes out Arteta. And Arteta starts complaining to him, like, what's going on here? Like, you nearly took me out. And Højbjerg basically saying, what are you chatting about? You were outside your technical area, basically on the touchline. Why were you so close? Then Arteta goes like that to shush. Then Højbjerg's like, what are you saying? And then Højbjerg literally squares up to him, and Arteta literally backed up like that, like literally shat himself. And it was absolutely brilliant to see. I think Arteta's ego got to him a bit, and then he realised, oh shit, I'm probably not acting in the best way.
Oh shit, I'm up against a Viking.
I don't want to even look at Højbjerg. I think Arteta thought he was still like in his playing days when he could like take a midfield battle. Like,
Arteta was like, mate. I don't want no Viking funeral tonight,
exactly. And as soon as Højbjerg even stepped to him, like you saw when Gattuso stepped to Joe Jordan, he didn't flinch. Didn't even flinch. Like Gattuso headbutted him, he didn't flinch a bit, didn't even blink.
Yeah.
But when Højbjerg just steps to Arteta, he backs off completely, and that was brilliant to see. And it was great to see Højbjerg asserting his dominance there. That was good stuff.
I mean, yesterday when I look at Arsenal, when I try and assess Arsenal, they were toothless going forward. Absolutely toothless.
Yeah.
I think Aubameyang was anonymous.
He was complete. Yeah, Aubameyang was anonymous. To be fair to Lacazette, I actually thought in the first half he played quite well.
Yeah.
But he didn't kind of get in. He wasn't outside the box. He was a big threat. He had that shot Lloris saved, and he actually hit the post as well from a shot outside the box. But it was all outside the box. That's the thing. Inside the box, he never didn't get any joy, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, look, of course, but...
And Pepe as well, I thought, didn't do much.
No, he didn't. The only Arsenal player I was impressed with yesterday was Smith Rowe. He's the only one that played well, in my opinion.
Fair play. He played quite well.
He's the only one. I thought Arsenal were absolutely so poor yesterday. Yes, they had a bit of control in the first half, maybe for the last 25 minutes, but apart from that, they were so poor. And I thought second half we completely ran them ragged yesterday. Lucas Moura was brilliant, wasn't he?
Yeah, we know how good he can be with his dribbling ability. And he always seems also in like big. He's like a big game player as well. He seems to appreciate the bigger games. And obviously, I know Arsenal friendly is not a massive game, but playing against Arsenal makes you step up your game just naturally. I feel for a player like Lucas. So I felt like he was strong. Whether he was started on the left and moved over to the right, I think in both positions he was strong. Bergwijn.
Mixed from Bergwijn.
Yeah, I thought when he was on the right, he was completely anonymous.
Yeah.
I think when he moved over to the left in the second half, he was a lot more involved.
More,
and he was a lot better. Dele, I thought...
Played well, Dele.
I thought he played well. Brian, for some reason, Brian Daigle thought he was awful.
Really?
He did. He came on, he was lambasting him. I actually thought Dele played quite well.
Yeah. The thing is with Brian, he lambasts Dele for anything he does because he won't forgive him anymore.
He won't forgive him.
For playing bad for the last 3 years.
I understand that. I understand the lack of patience with him, but I did think he played well. I thought his
Nutmeg City yesterday.
I thought the two times he hit the post were very classic Dele of old, running runs late into the box, just sniffing out the chance, knowing where the ball's going to drop, and especially the first time when he makes that movement. Son has good hold-up play from Son, who squares it into his path, and it was unlucky he hit the post. He really should have scored, but that was like the Dele we like to see.
Yeah, and he had loads of like tricks and flicks that were coming off, and I thought he was impacting the game positively. There were moments in there where he was losing the ball quite stupidly, which you do get that from Dele quite often. But I think as on a whole, I was very impressed with his performance. And one player I want to mention is Giovanni Lo Celso.
Oh yeah, he was brilliant.
He came on and he really did change the game. He really did. And every time he got on the ball, he made something positive happen. And I really think not just because of yesterday's game, I was saying it before, but I think he's one of the players that can really come on under Nuno.
I'm hoping so, and I think there was a few times actually, Gio, where he had the ball and he was kind of running into trouble, and you're thinking, what's he going to do? He didn't have many options, and then he would just dribble his way out of trouble and then find someone in space or something like that. Yeah. I thought for the goal he was instrumental as well. That lovely pass to Tanganga, very underrated. The weight of pass on that was exceptional. I thought he had a fantastic cameo yesterday, Giovanni Lo Celso. Got me a bit excited for him going into the season. Obviously, he started every game, didn't he, for Argentina in the Copa?
I think he did. He didn't play. I mean, he got taken off at around 60 minutes.
Yeah, every game, he seemed to be taken off. But apparently, when he was on the pitch, he played fairly well. So maybe, I don't know whether it's a fitness thing or whatnot. I don't know what it is. Maybe why they took him off. But he did start every game, so I don't think they would have carried on starting him if he kept playing bad.
Especially all the way to the final.
That's what I'm saying. If he was being taken off because he wasn't playing well, why carry on starting him? Why not just I think you replace him at that point. So I think clearly they still think he was playing well. I don't think they took him off for performance-related reasons, based on my point.
Yeah.
So I think I'm excited for Gio, and I think Nuno could really do a lot with him, and I'm hoping that he can really finally see the real Gio this season.
I hope so, man.
Game
I
off
hope
the treatment table.
I hope so.
It was a great cameo yesterday.
Yeah, it bodes well. It bodes well with the Giovanni. But look, I know it is a pre-season, but I think actually we can read more into this pre-season, and the Chelsea one than probably any other of the previous pre-seasons.
I think especially this one, because I think for the majority, first of all, Arsenal, played their complete first team. They seem to take it fairly seriously in this game. I think, the full-blooded challenges that were going in. I think as much as it was a friendly, and obviously it doesn't mean anything, but I do get the feeling both teams wanted to win. I did get that feeling. I didn't get the feeling that no one cared about this game, and they didn't care. Like, it didn't have a friendly feeling about it. It didn't quite have a, this is a super important game feeling, but it didn't have a friendly feeling, that's for sure.
There's never going to be a friendly when we come up against them.
Yeah, it felt like two teams actually going for it a bit. So I think we can definitely take a bit more out of this game than we can maybe the previous friendlies. And even when they made subs, Arsenal, they'll bring on the likes of Saka, Callum Chambers, first team players. They won't bring on too many youngsters until the very end. So I think it was a game you can maybe read a bit more into, and I thought Spurs definitely had the upper hand in that game, and you can see how upset how upset a lot of the Arsenal fans were after the game, saying that they looked toothless and they were worried with what they were seeing, and I think that goes to show as well that I think they didn't want to lose this game as much as they. Obviously, look, in the grand scheme of things, we're never going to turn around and say, at the end of the season, if Arsenal finish above us, we beat you in a friendly. That's never going to happen. At the end of the day, it's gone now. It doesn't mean anything. But I think for that day, it was a nice win. Yeah,
and just to cap off the derby reaction, let's just talk about the classy Tottenham fans and in the reaction to Bukayo Saka coming on yesterday, because, you know, everyone knows what the atmosphere can be like at a North London derby. Everyone knows the animosity between the two clubs and the two sets of fans. And it wasn't really expected, but it was a lovely touch by the Spurs fans to cheer Bukayo Saka and clap him when he was coming on the pitch yesterday.
It was. I don't really get why anyone's angry. I've seen a few people angry about it and saying, "Oh, what they do." I think it's a nice gesture. I think with what Saka went through this summer as a teenager, playing had the whole weight of the country on his shoulders. I know he was an Arsenal player, and as soon as the season starts, I'm going to be hoping he has a flop after flop of a game. But for that moment, I think with his first game back after the World Cup, I think was a fantastic gesture, especially all the abuse he got after the penalty miss as well. I think it was very, very classy from the Spurs fans to clap him onto the pitch, and he appreciated it as well, because not only did he give a clap back, he acknowledged it, and he also did a post on social media appreciating what had happened. And I think it was nice for just a brief moment. It was literally 5 seconds. I don't know why anyone's getting angry, but for a brief moment, just putting rivalries aside and saying, "Welcome back from the World Cup. You did a great job, and we support you after what happened." And I think that was important.
And there was a banner inside the stadium. I don't know if you saw the picture of the banner in support of Bukayo as well. So, look. At the end of the day, rivalry means nothing when stuff like that happens. You know, nobody wants to see that sort of abuse going down, and it's completely abhorrent and uncalled for, and it shouldn't be anywhere in the world, never mind in football. You know what I mean? So that's that. And do you have the phone? It's not working. Is it not there? What do you want to show?
No. Oh. Højbjerg stepping to Arteta. It's not there? No, it's not working. Oh, that's a shame.
We'll try another time. But I want to get through these super chats. You can take the banner now if you want. Super chats from Andrew Sabash saying, "Say hi to Chennaiyin Spurs, OSC, Chennai in India." So big up the Chennaiyin Spurs fan group. And we've got a super chat here from Anup Narayanan, says, "Arsenal is crap at the moment. Chelsea exposed Dyer blatantly and will still keep thinking he's good. We need Romero, Rhodes and Tomiyasu and probably another centre-back. Don't want to take the risk on Sanchez for another season." Yeah, look, I agree with that. It's not no one's saying because of the performance yesterday that Dyer's staying. Dyer's going to be a top quality player.
I think Dyer is staying.
No, but nobody's saying that Dyer's going to be here to stay and he's going to be a top quality centre-back and we all forgive him for his previous mistakes. Yes, we still want a better centre-back than Eric Dyer in the club. Mm-hmm. You just got to call out when you see a good performance, and we saw a good performance yesterday.
Yeah, what am I supposed to say? He played shit because I don't like him. You know what I mean? He played well. You're supposed to. You have to be honest.
Credit's where credit's due. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And when you put in a good performance against Arsenal, you know, you got to call it out.
Exactly. Well, look, trust me, when we see them play badly, we're as critical as anyone. I think people can see that. I think when we don't like what we're seeing, but fortunately, but he played really well yesterday. What are you supposed to say?
We are taking call-ins today. I mean, we're done with the headlines so far today. So if you want to call in and have your say, link is in the community section. And we've got someone waiting to speak to us right now. And that is Aravind, the analyst. Aravind, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, Aravind.
Oh, I can't hear him.
Yeah, I can't.
I can hear you. Aravind, how you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
What do you want to talk about today? You want to talk about the game last night, or you want to talk about Martinez? What's the topic of conversation?
I actually wanted to talk about Martinez, about the deal.
Yeah.
I get the point that they are getting Edin Dzeko and other few transfers over there, but I just had a hint of doubt that would Martinez want to play for a team that is bringing in cheaper options, or someone or a team where we are more developing towards getting better players right now? So that's something which I think so he might have on his head on the back. I know that Inter doesn't want to sell him, but I'm pretty sure if they get a really good deal, and he would as a person also think about and see that where Inter Milan is going right now? Are they like getting good players? Are they developing right now? As you can see, they're selling off a lot of players. I'm not sure, but even Nicolo Barella isn't part of the transfer deal as in section. I don't know whether they'll sell him or not, but there are a lot of players which they're trying to use the money to liquidate. I know they're getting 100 million, and I had an 80 million from Hakimi, but this will be a thought behind it. Like, would Martinez want to play beside Dzeko, Zapata, Martial, and all these players, and whether Inter Milan is it's to be serious, it's degraded since the last season. And he might see this as an opportunity, like we're getting a good players like Romero. I know we aren't haven't reached the top four, top five, but if we as a club we can convince him by saying that, look, we are getting in players, we are getting it, we will be developing a better project. And he's 23, he's not like 28 or 29. He just want to win. I know he wants to win trophies, but he won't be disappointed if he would see a good project behind us going forward. So that's something I think. So he'll think ahead before he makes this deal. I know the media outlets are saying that it's non-transferable. I think so. They don't want to um, share the thought behind what he's thinking and leak the news. But I'm 100% sure that this is something he would think about. And if he's really convinced, and players like Romero and Lo Celso, if he can talk with them and see what the club is doing, I'm really confident this deal can be grabbed by the end of this week.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think there is hope in this deal. I think there is, but I think since the Lukaku deal has happened, I mean, it might add a 10, 20 million on his price tag. So it's all up to Daniel Levy if he does want to stump up more cash. And I think there will be a breaking point in the Lautaro Martinez situation. And I think they will accept the bid, but I think it'll be higher than the bid that they've already agreed. But on the case where will he want to stick around at Inter Milan if he sees all these players leaving and big upheaval in the club? I think that his agent actually came out yesterday, didn't he, and said that he's very happy there and he doesn't want to leave. So I think that pretty much tells you what you need to know about his thinking.
Yeah, I know that. I know the agent may come out and say this stuff to just silent the talks, but if the player himself wants to move, which he doesn't want to share it in the media, and if he has the talk and if he can see the opportunity, then I don't. And decisions can just change immediately. And talking about the stumping of the cash, I'm not confident that Harry Kane is going to be staying this season, and we are for sure going for two more strikers because his head is not there. I don't know what Nuno is going to convince him. He's getting 28. He's turning 29 next season, and we are for sure not going to challenge for the Premier League title in 1 or 2 years. So stumping of the cash, if we get rid of, I don't know about two strikers, but I am pretty sure that Lautaro is one of this thing. And I just saw the news with Alistair Gold saying that Fabio Paratici is convinced Levy by saying that Lautaro is the player which we really need and really want. And if the club, I just want to have this mentality that the club really wants the player and they really feel that he can be the best for this club, then we should go ahead and get him before selling Kane. Because if we sell Kane right now, I'm pretty sure there's going to be another 10 more, 10 to 20, because they know that we have the money. So it's good to like get the deal done if we really feel we need the player.
Yeah, but Aravind, Martinez can like the move. He could want to move to Spurs, all he likes, unless he really forces a move. Inter now with the Lukaku deal, do they have to sell? Like maybe they'll just flat out refuse. Now they've got their 100 million for Lukaku. Maybe they'll just tell Spurs, look, we don't want to sell two strikers in the same window. And if that's the case, then it's going to be near impossible to do this deal, won't it?
Yeah, look, we don't know what Inter Milan's financial difficulties is. If they still feel they need more money, and that's how, if they're really struck so badly, then it may change. So that's one factor, yes, for sure, that will be taken into account of whether they'll sell all these players. But if they're getting 3 4 of the players in the same position, I don't get the point of why would they get Zapata, Dzeko, and then Martial if they get all the deals done with Martinez? Why would they have four strikers? That's something which really triggers me by thinking that if they get the opportunity for selling him off, then for sure, yes, it may see. But yeah, but it all depends.
Yeah, it does, it does, and I think that there is a chance. There is a chance this deal's going to happen, but I do feel that it is quite unlikely. But again, we're just going to have to see how this one plays out. I mean, if we can't get him through the door, is Vlahovic your second choice, or you would prefer Vlahovic before him?
Yeah, I actually like that player, and he's more of like I want to say he's more physical. He can hold the ball, he can pass. I really like the look of him, and he's very young, and then I'm pretty sure he's one player that we can improve on. I just had to talk about one player which I'm really worried about is about Ndombele of why he's not
Mm.
featuring. Is it because the thing about Endomble is I really like about his player, about how good he is. But the only thing which really disappoints me is about I'm pretty sure there's something which I think is that he has some attitude problems of being in this club, and I hate players who come on and say that Sissoko is leaving, Audio is leaving, and I I don't have my friends. I think so. This is a profession. We are paying him around 180 to 200 per week, and okay. I get the point that it's a new place for him, but he's been here for 2 years. Come on, he needs to he needs to bring up his attitude out. He's no more a child of as of how he's been in the club. He's been here for 2 years. He knows a lot of players, and I think so. The only thing which, if his career may not reach the heights of what he is because of his attitude, and the only thing which will bring him down, because he has the whole talent he is, but he needs to come out with the attitude and bring out the best out of him. That's the only thing I think some managers feel that he's something missing over there, where he's not comfortable. He's very like, I want to leave and all that stuff. That should not come into his mind. He knows about what how good of a player is. He knows that if he shows his performances on the training, he's the first person is going to be on the list of whatever midfielder he is. So I don't want to sell him, but if he's going to show up this attitude, is it's going to be the same performances of this thing. And I'm to be serious, I was not really happy about what Ndomile performed last season. He has much better prospect than what he's performed last season with the performances he can give. And he had a very like ups and downs last season. And I think the only thing which is really backing is because of his attitude. If he has a bad game, then I don't know what happens with him, or how to push him. And that's something he as a person needs to bring up. I don't think so the manager can come and spoon feed him every time of, come on, you need to perform and all that stuff. He's a profession. He's be getting paid over here, and if that's the case is over there, then I would actually go ahead and there's a really good player who's on the market is Hussein Mawar from Lyon, and that's something which I would consider if he's leaving.
Yeah, I mean, it's very annoying, the whole Tanguy and Ndombele situation. I mean, the guy is a top earner at the club on 200 grand a week, and it doesn't seem. I mean, we don't know all the specifics, but it doesn't seem that he's putting the right effort in to get himself fit, to get himself firing. Otherwise, he would have been playing in pre-season. I mean, he was one of the first ones back right at the beginning when the team first came back for pre-season. But, you know, Jose Mourinho called it completely 100% right on Tanguy and Ndombele.
Yeah.
He said he's got one of the best technical abilities in that position in the world. If only he had the mentality to match it, he would be right up there with one of the best players in the world. And that's the case at the
True.
moment. And if the guy can knuckle down and get his head right and get his head really into the game, really into the club, you know, we could have one of
Then
the best players in
exactly.
world football. We really could. But I'm starting to run out of a bit of patience with him, to be honest.
It's just because of the price tag we paid for him, and we can't be giving years and years of time for players to, okay, he can give a 1 year 2 years, but how many more years he needs to develop as a player. And if he can't, then we need to do the same. And it's the same for Deli Ali. He needs to perform this season, or else I don't see a future of his club next season. There are some players who are in a club who have the talent, but we just we lack the mentality, and that's something which Hoybier stated in his
Exactly. That's
This thing.
exactly what I was just thinking.
We have
Poyetti's interview
talented
yesterday.
players. We
Yeah.
have talented players. There's no consideration of how much talent we have in the squad, but we have a lot of players who lack mentality. And if we can actually bring that up, if we finish seventh last season, we're gonna be in a sixth or a fifth because of the mentality. We just lack a lot of mentality in this squad, and there are some players whom we it's not about the talent which they have; it's more of the mentality. And if they can't bring it up, then we need to we need to bring in replacements. That's something which that's the first thing we need to look at a player more than what he can give is the mentality.
How much longer do you give Ndombele?
This is the only season I'm going to give him. It's not about his talent. If he can bring up his mentality up, then yes, for sure. And this is season for Ndombele and Dele Alli to shine. And if he doesn't, then we need to cash him up next season for sure.
Aravind, absolutely brilliant call. Thank you so much for calling in, my friend.
Thank you. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. See you later, man.
According to Sam Luckhurst, he's a journalist for The Athletic. He says that it's confirmed that next season we'll have 9 substitutes on the bench.
Okay. But 5 allowed or 3 allowed?
3.
Okay.
But 9 on the bench.
Instead of?
7, I believe.
7. I was actually looking into this. Is there going to be away fans this season?
Is there? Yeah, no. Is there not?
I don't know. No ticket details have gone out for the first away game of the season or anything like that. That's in 2 weeks' time.
I thought there were, but I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I thought it was.
I don't know. I thought there was as well, but I haven't seen any sort of ticketing details or anything like that. We've got a super chat here from PD1347 saying, I saw that Inter are willing to do business if Spurs increase their offer to around 80 to 90 million. What do you think of this? I mean, we've been talking about that for, quite a lot of the video, haven't we?
Yeah, I think they are. They probably would be more open to it if we put more money. For a couple of things, whether we put more money in, or if on the flip side, they could easily say, just no, we've sold Lukaku and we don't want to sell another one for whatever price this window. That's also a possibility. So, I just think right now, it's unlikely. The door's not completely shut, but I think it's very, very unlikely that this deal is going to happen now. Unfortunately, that's just how I see it.
All right, let's bring on John Mills. How's it going, John, mate?
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's up? How are y'all?
Yes, we're good, thank you. How are you?
Where are you calling from, John?
Good. I'm over across the pond, North Carolina.
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Nice.
Very nice. What time
East
is it
Coast
over there?
It is.
Oh, she's
Pretty early.
Well, good morning to you.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, all good. Good morning to you. I mean,
Okay.
did you get to see the game yesterday?
Yeah, I got to watch the first half, but then I had to go to work. But I felt pretty good about it. I mean, I'm liking what Nuno's doing, kind of more than Jose because playing a little bit more expansive. But I'm still worried about the defense, even though Dyer and Sanchez played well yesterday.
What impressed you the most in the performance here? I know you only saw the first half, so you didn't even see the good bit in the second half.
Yeah, well, I mean, I liked what Lucas was doing. I'm a big fan of his, honestly. I think he's one of my favorite players for Spurs. So I liked what he was doing. And then I thought Son, I was watching the watch along, and you were talking about him being more clinical, or I think it was John on the watch along was talking about that. And I think he was kind of struggling. He could have finished off a couple of those chances. But other than that, I mean, I thought everybody played pretty well.
And in terms of Lautaro Martinez, we apparently had a deal agreed for around 60, 70 million. Lukaku deal might have put that deal in a bit of jeopardy. Do you think that he's a player that we still can get over the line?
I mean, I would love it, but I wonder if 90 million would be too much for someone I know he's super good, but what if we could get a Vlahovic and a Calvert-Lewin for similar type money? I don't know if that would be a better deal than spending 90 million on Lautaro Martinez.
I mean, having said that, I think Calvert-Lewin will probably cost about 70, 80 million in his own right.
Tax, Premier League
True,
tax,
yeah, he is English.
rival tax.
Exactly.
All those taxes on. He's up front, and on top of that, he's probably a £50 million player. So
Calvert-Lewin probably commands the same price as Lautaro Martinez.
probably only because we're trying to get him.
Yeah,
Because
right.
Everton won't want to sell to us.
And the only reason we go for Calvert-Lewin is because Kane's going.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll know that. They'll know that. So I think Calvert-Lewin probably commands a bit of a similar price to Lautaro Martinez. I think Vlahovic you can probably get for around 40-50 million. But there are rumours that he's about to sign a new contract, so I don't know what's going on there. So we actually could be left with no one if he signs a contract.
Yeah, I know. But John, Kane's set to have talks with Nuno today. What do you think could the outcome of these talks?
I think if Kane tells Nuno that he wants to leave and is like really adamant that he's not gonna he's gonna keep pushing this summer, next summer until he gets the move, I think Nuno could start saying, okay, let's just try and rebuild the squad now. Because I feel like it's bad to have that sort of energy in the locker room of your star player doesn't want to be there. So I feel like the coach might want to change it up.
Do you think there's any way, after a chat with Nuno, maybe they could see a way out of this situation where Kane still stays? Is there a possibility there?
I mean, I definitely think Nuno could win him over. I mean, every interview I've seen with him since he came to Spurs got me so hyped for the season, and I wasn't hyped before. So, I mean, I definitely think Nuno could win him over, but the way I see it happening is Kane wants to go and he doesn't want to stay. I just don't know if we're going to be able to change his mind.
Yeah, correct. But what's your price for Kane? What's the minimum you're taking for him this summer? Even if he does really want to go, 150.
Yeah.
So you're saying if we don't get 150, you would keep an unhappy player?
Yeah, I probably would. I mean, maybe drop to 130, but I don't think we should drop the price because we have him on 3 years contract. I know I just said we don't want an unhappy player, but we also have Levy, so he's not going to drop the price at all.
If in terms of Man City, what kind of deal? In terms of if you were taking a player plus cash deal for Kane, how would you like that to be structured? What kind of a deal would you like if they're offering, if they're not going to go to 150 and they're saying, all right, we're not going to 150, but we're willing to put maybe one of Bernardo Silva, Juan Laporte, Aymeric Laporte, sorry. What kind of deal would you like to see out of that?
So, I mean, I would take Laporte for sure. I mean, I would take pretty much all of the City players. It's just if they would play for Tottenham is the question, because they're going to not be in Champions League and less wages. But I think 100 million plus Laporte would be a fair price.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he and Romero would fix our defense, in my opinion.
That would be the dream if we can get that sorted. But John, good to speak to you, my friend. We'll have to have you on again soon. Was this your first time calling in?
Yeah, I joined as a member last night, actually.
Oh, beautiful.
Welcome, John.
Family, my friend.
Good to have you as part of the We Are Tottenham family, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll have a good
one.
See you later, man.
See you in a bit.
We've got a few super chats to get through. One from Alex D saying, leave Dele Alli and Ndombele alone. They will take time. Sorry about that, but we are back. We've got another super chat here from El Saeed saying, I think it's a good time to raid PSG. If they're going for Messi, they will let go of some quality players on the cheap.
How about Di Maria?
Di Maria, I do fancy a Di Maria. I just can't see him coming to Spurs.
How about Idrissa Gueye?
Good player.
Yeah, you'd fancy a bit of Idrissa Gueye?
Wouldn't mind, yeah. I wouldn't mind Neymar or Mbappe.
Paredes?
Sarabia?
Bit of Sarabia? Bit of Sarabia cherry on top. I'm sure they've got some players in the just like waiting around, waiting to leave if Messi comes in. Who else they got? Let me see. Let me take a look at your squad, PSG. You must have some Rafinha,
Verratti. Yeah, I'll take them all, mate.
Danilo, maybe. Draxler, surely he's going somewhere. Oh, they're going to keep Draxler around.
Do we even want Draxler?
Icardi
would probably be like the level below after Vlahovic and Martinez.
Possibly.
Icardi starts week in, week out for them, though.
Not for
Will
long.
he start if Messi?
Yeah,
can?
not for long, I would say. Draxler, we don't want... I wouldn't mind Draxler. I think he's a good player. I wouldn't mind him at all.
All right, let's go on to the next guest. We've got Eden Cooper.
Ah, Eden
Hello.
Cooper. Love it.
Eden,
Morning.
how's it going, mate?
Good morning, my friend.
All good, all good.
What do you want to talk about
Okay.
today?
All good.
Yeah, always nice to wake up after a North London derby win, although it's friendly, but who cares?
It's never a friendly against them lot. It's never.
And
a
especially,
friendly.
like, it was such a breath of fresh air to have the fans back, even just for me watching it on TV. Like, after all this whole year and a half of watching games and no crowd, it was just so depressing, even when we won. So it was just nice to get that atmosphere back, even just from the TV. I imagine it was great for you, Ben, to be back.
Yeah, it was. It was nice to be back, but there was some sort of at half time when the players came out after the game, just before the second half started. They started playing fans chanting through the big speakers.
Did they?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
and
Why?
I was like, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. You know, when you heard
heard
just
about
before the
that.
second half, everyone go, "Come on, you Spurs." They did it through the speakers. It started off really loud, like it was a full stadium, and then it got quieter and quieter as the kickoff came up. So I wasn't sure about that, but look, at the end of the day, it was nice to be back and good to be amongst fellow Spurs fans again, especially watching Arsenal get beat. But how did it come across the atmosphere and stuff like that for you on TV?
Yeah, actually, it was a bit sharing, a bit of listening to the watch long and a bit from TV. So I got a bit and a bit. Look, it wasn't Champions League atmosphere, obviously, because it was a friendly, and it wasn't for Laos. It was a few empty seats. But look, it was okay for a friendly. I imagine it'll be even better for the City game. I hope so. And I think the team really needs it, because playing with a crowd is a total different thing. Even for like the new players from last season, Højbjerg after the game, he was saying that it was his first game basically with a full stadium for Tottenham, and he said that he's looking forward for more. So I'm looking forward to it. Actually, looking forward to it.
It was a refreshing post-match interview from Højbjerg, wasn't it, yesterday?
Yeah, I just love him. Even though he sometimes doesn't do the right parts, but he's always fighting. And after what he did with Arteta was brilliant. And he's just, I think he's our leader, like even more than Kane right now. Obviously, Hugo is there, but I think he's our future leader. And he feels that responsibility. Even with Denmark, I'm not sure he wasn't captain in the Euros, but he's just a natural born leader, and he just brings that fighting, that good spirit. But also, he's a humble guy. He knows last year was bad for us, and so he knows that there's work to do. But I think he's in a good mindset, and hopefully he can spread that in the dressing room. And also, like yesterday, I came on for the post-match fan show. I forgot to mention how happy I was with Gio, because I love the guy so much. And last year I was so not disappointed with him, but because it wasn't his fault because of the injuries he had. And I really think that we missed him so much in that middle part of the season. And I think this season, if he can keep injury-free, which is a big if, I think he can be instrumental for us. And when he came on, he showed that, because he was the only player yesterday that once he got the ball and drove forward, he didn't just go backward. Like yesterday, a couple of times, Dele did that, Reguilon did that. They got forward a bit, but then after a while, they just went back. And once he came on, he would do that. And then instead of going backwards, if there wasn't enough movement, he would either continue dribbling a few players, or at least wait for some movement. Because once you get in that position, it's worthless to go just backwards. So I think he's one of those players that even coming on or not playing the whole 90 minutes because he doesn't have that in him yet, I think he's going to be instrumental for us. And yeah, I mentioned Tanganga yesterday, was brilliant. And overall, look, I don't want to get too excited for especially the defensive display, because honestly, Arsenal up front they're so bad. And how many times did we see Dyer and Sanchez have a good game? Look, obviously, as you said, when they play well, we must say they play well. They did. But I just don't want anyone to get too excited. Obviously, if they have a good season, I'm going to be the first one to praise them and say thank you, finally, for having a good season. But I just don't want to get too excited. And especially, I really hope we get another centre-back. And me too, I like Sim. I have this horrible feeling that we might just stick with Romero and not get another one, unfortunately. But who knows?
And you spoke about Gio as a player who came on yesterday, made an impact, and you're looking forward to him this season. But another player, talented midfielder we have, didn't have any games this preseason in Ndombele. What's your opinion right now on him coming into the season? Do you think he's going to be involved? Are we going to look to sell him? What's the latest, do you think, with him?
Yeah, look, first of all, personally, I love Tongi as a player. Obviously, it's not even a personal thing, because when he's on the pitch, everyone can see what he does and what he brings to the team. But I'm not one of those guys that when I don't see him on the starting lineup or in the squad, I'm not like, oh, where's Tongi? I don't think our success is completely dependent on him. So at the end of the day, Nuno has given a chance in this preseason to literally everyone. So if he didn't get even 1 minute, there must be a reason behind that, and it's probably his fitness, which every time he comes back from the summer, he looks to struggle with that. And also his attitude isn't the greatest. This news coming out that he might be sad of Aurier and Sissoko leaving. Like, come on, mate. Can't you realise yourself that they're not good enough for us? Yeah. I mean, you've been at the club for 3 years almost. You must have some other friends. And I think it's more important that the players around you are good football players than actually funny people. Like, come on. That's ridiculous for me. I hope it's rubbish, honestly, because it looks like very strange that a professional player says that. Honestly, I don't think he'll go anywhere, because it's weird to say it, but he doesn't have many clubs interested in him, at least that we know. So he'll stay, and hopefully for him and for us, I hope he gets back in the squad and has a great season. But right now, I just don't think he's ready. That's it.
Interesting.
Yeah. What about Lautaro Martinez? Obviously, you're there, based in Italy. Any murmurings on the street about Inter Milan and their financial problems?
Oh yeah, I have a lot of mates that are Inter fans, because Inter is one of the biggest clubs in Italy.
Yeah.
And they're so pissed at the board. Like, they're so angry with them. They're selling their best players. Now Lautaro Martinez is rumors are. They're cooking up here in Italy as well. And there's so many different people saying different things. Like yesterday we had that hour where first we were going to get him, then Inter said he's not coming, then his agent said he's okay. Yesterday he actually played in a friendly. Yeah. Martinez, he was in the squad. So my view on it is that, look, Inter, after selling Hakimi and Lukaku, they're not that much in a struggle financially. But if big money comes in for him, they're not gonna say no. But I really think they're gonna drag it until the end of the season, until the end of the transfer market, if they're gonna sell him anyway, because there's also other teams interested in him. So personally, I think we give it another week, and if he doesn't come, or if Inter don't want to sell him, we should really concentrate on the rest on the rest of the squad, because actually the transfer market is over in 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying we were in trouble, because we had some good signings. I'm going to respect that. But we still need a good bunch of defenders, a right back and a centre back. And we need realistic transfers for a striker. So if it drags on for too long, I would like this to forget it, honestly.
Who would you prefer?
As a player, Lautaro is great. No, don't get me wrong.
But who would you prefer? Would you prefer Lautaro or would you prefer Vlahovic?
Like you were saying that we could get both if we get rid of Kane, but I don't know. It doesn't convince me. Like if I had the choice without Kane with that money, I would get one of those two, and I would get a Premier League striker, a proven Premier League striker, because with these Serie A players, you never know. Like we've seen it could be a flop or it can be a success. Like Liverpool were lucky with Salah, but how many times did the Serie A player come to the Premier League and didn't show up? So yeah, I would get one of them two, and if I had the choice, I don't know, Vlahovic, I've seen him a lot this season. He's great. Like, he's so strong physically and he's so young. And he got more goals than Lautaro. But Martinez is probably a bit more experienced. He's been in Serie A for already 3 seasons, played in the Champions League. So, look, honestly, if the choice was mine, I would say get the cheaper one and invest in the rest of the squad with the other money. So, probably the cheapest one at this moment is Vlahovic, because Inter, probably they're going to ask for more money now, and Fiorentina are willing to sell him abroad, and they're a smaller club than Inter, so they will probably accept 60, 50 million. So, yeah, I would get him, and maybe I would have said Danny Ings a few weeks ago, but he's gone to Aston Villa. So maybe now we have to look at maybe Calvert-Lewin. I don't know. It's not looking good.
I mean, Calvert-Lewin will, we said it on the previous call, will probably cost around 80, 90 million himself, won't he?
Yeah. And look, I don't think it's worth, because I think, yeah, he's a good striker, but he's a bit of a lump. Like, I don't know. Like, honestly, I hate to say it, but I would get Tammy Abraham. Like, I know he's a Chelsea player, whatever. I know you're going to say that.
Well, he's
but
cheap. Cheaper. But only about 40, about half the price.
I would get him. For cheaper, I would get him like for 30, 40 million. Although, like, these prices, we never know how much they're going to ask. So it's all just talk.
Someone in the comments has just mentioned Ivan Toney. Would you not rather him than spending 40 million on Tammy Abraham?
Well, I think they would ask for a lot, first of all. And I'm not sure if he's like a striker. I think he's more like a...
I thought he was a number 9.
Is he?
Yeah, I thought so.
He is. If he's a striker. I mean, I'm not sure. I haven't seen much of him. I know him, but I'm not sure he's like a pure number 9. But if he is, and he's willing to come, look, at the end of the day, we need players, and we're not in the position of saying, no, we don't want you, we don't want you. So if they're good players, let's get them in.
Yeah, I completely
And I would
agree.
like to add something, like we were talking about Harry Kane. Look, I'm a Tottenham fan. I'm not a Harry Kane fan, but I love Kane. And one thing I was thinking the other day, like I saw Guardiola's post-match interview, and he said all the English boys aren't with us training. And my question is, why haven't the media said that, okay, Harry Kane isn't in training for Spurs, but no one, like Stones, Maguire, Walker, all the boys, Sterling, like the only one is Jack Grealish, who is back with City, but he didn't play much in the Euros.
Bukayo Saka played yesterday.
Yeah, Saka, he didn't play all the games, so maybe the senior English players, they had more time off. You never know. Like even here in Italy, the top players haven't come back yet, or they just came back on Friday and at the end of the last week. So I honestly think that the club and Kane arranged, maybe even before the Euros started, that he could get all the rest he needed and come back not when he wanted, but when it was best. And seeing that he's not the only English player who's not back in training, it's a bit annoying that they put Kane in that bad guy area when the rest of his teammates for England didn't show up for Man City, who actually started the season earlier than us, playing the Community Shield on Saturday. So I don't know.
Wait, Eden, wouldn't the club have said, if it was just a misunderstanding and Kane was always planned to come back a bit later, wouldn't the club have said something instead of allowing this storm to gather more weight?
Yeah, what I think the club is doing, and it might be a clever thing or whatever, if they're doing it, they think it's a clever thing to do, is that they're just not going to comment at all. They're not going to comment defending themselves or defending Harry Kane. I think they're just going to let this. They just want to do things behind the scenes. And look, I don't think they would come out and say why Kane hasn't shown up if they actually had an agreement. And maybe they just agreed that Harry Kane's statement would be enough. But we never know, because the clubs and the players, what they actually say, we never know if it's the truth. So I don't want to say it's worthless talking about it, but we're just having theories that
it's just speculation,
yeah, speculation.
All right, Eden, absolutely brilliant call. Thanks for calling in again, and we'll speak to you soon, my friend.
See you soon, mate. Come on.
Bye.
See you soon. Yeah, it's interesting what he says, because it's true. A few of the England players aren't back yet. He's not the only one. Of the ones who had basically the most game time, like Sterling, Kane, Stones, Maguire, as he said, all the ones who pretty much played every minute.
Mm-hmm.
None of them are back yet. But I don't know. I just feel like the club. I don't know. It's difficult to know because surely the club would, if it was an agreement, then surely the club would have just come out, or there would have been some sort of sources that said, "Look, this is always planned," and whatnot. I don't know.
Does this bode well for our first game of the season then? If all these players are not back yet, De Bruyne and Foden both injured as well for the first.
Oh, you
game.
mean does it bode well because of the Golden City side? Does it bode well? Maybe it could be a bit of a benefit. Maybe City, because they had a slow start to last season, didn't they? So
Very slow start, yeah.
So maybe they could have a slow start to this season as well. But it's all about Spurs taking advantage.
They got
we're going to have a
battered
fast
by
start.
Leicester at the beginning of last season.
They did.
Remember?
It took them about a couple months to really get into it last season.
And then once they did, they were just flying on all cylinders.
So maybe we could catch them at a good time. It could be a case. Well, we saw against Leicester, they were pretty toothless, but they were playing a very weak team.
Yeah.
Whether that team is going to be anywhere near the team they play against Spurs.
Yeah, I mean, they had 2 youth players. In
the so I doubt it, but maybe it's a possibility we're catching City at a good time, which is probably classic Spurs. We'll beat City and everyone think we're the dog's bollocks, and then we'll lose to Wolves. And then we'll lose exactly. We'll lose our next 3 games or something. Let's get Dan on,
Mr. Dan Schultz.
Yes,
how's it
Dan,
going, buddy?
Good to see you, my friend.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah.
All good, mate. All
Long
good,
time
mate.
no see, my friend.
I know it's been a bit of a while. It's been a busy summer.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, you were at one of our events, weren't you? I can't remember which game it was.
The Germany game, yeah.
The Germany game, yeah.
Good night that was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a
great
very
day.
good night. What do you want to talk about today?
I guess the striker situation, really. That's kind of the hot topic. Like Martinez, Kane, Vlahovic, that whole situation. I think it's looking really juicy in the transfer perspective.
What do you make out of the Harry Kane situation? There's nothing been said by Spurs, but there's been noises coming out of Spurs saying he should have been back in training. Obviously, Harry Kane came out with that statement on Friday. Just 2 basically conflicting statements, pretty much. What do you make out of the whole situation?
I very much think what the situation is, because kind of dissimilar to most other situations, there was kind of universal agreement from all the reliable sources saying Kane was supposed to be back and he wasn't.
Yeah.
For whatever reason that was, it seems like it was the fact that he requested an extended holiday, didn't get it, and just decided to take it anyway, which, in the same situation, that still he refused to come to training, because essentially he was supposed to be back for training, refused to come decide to take his holiday. I also heard rumours, I can't remember the source it was, but saying apparently he did a similar thing last year, but they were able to kind of cover it up with the COVID situation. I don't know whether that's true or not, but it seems that his frustrations have been going on for a while. I just think the bottom line is he was supposed to be back and he wasn't, and his statement really showed to me, it looked like a very much a PR statement, and I thought, it was just my perspective, I felt like it was him admitting defeat, or him in this camp admitting defeat.
No,
You think it's admitting
well,
defeat?
that's what one Sky Sports has said. Is Daniel Levy 1, Harry Kane 0, didn't they?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's difficult. It's difficult to know the truth of the situation. You say he did a similar thing last season, which is a report that was from I believe it was from the Athletic. They said that and they were Spurs were also unhappy about it, but because Kane kind of after he started playing well from the second game, it was kind of water under the bridge. I wonder if he's doing the same thing now. I don't know. Do you think it is a possibility that Spurs are kind of allowing this to fester to create a bit of tension between Kane and the fans? Then maybe when if we do sell Harry Kane, then it'll be more palatable to the fan base and they won't be getting on the hierarchy's back. Is there a possibility that's the case?
I don't particularly think so, purely because the amount of reports that came out, and it wasn't just from English sources, it was from sources abroad as well. The fact there was such a universal agreement made me think that he was going against what was supposedly agreed, that he should be back on Monday. And I think as well, it was quite telling that when Nuno was asked about it, obviously he didn't dwell on it for long, but he did say there's a situation, we need to sort it internally.
True.
If there was a case he was supposed to be back, I think, I don't know Nuno, I didn't support Wolves last year, but he seems like an honourable man. I don't think he would make it up. He said there's a situation, they need to sort it, and that was kind of the bottom line. If he had got an extended holiday, I feel like he would have just gone, no, he's supposed to be back Saturday, it's fine, don't worry.
Yeah, that's a good point. And on Lautaro Martinez, how do you think this one's going to play out? Do you think this deal is dead in the water now, or do you still think there's life in this deal?
I'm a bit more confident, I think, than you guys, just in terms of, I think it's, roughly kind of 50-50. If anything, I think maybe kind of 60-40 to us, just because all the things I've been seeing are that Inter are really screwed financially. And I know they're getting the Lukaku money and they got the Hakimi money, but then you hear that they owe half of the money they got for Lukaku, they still owe for him in the first place. And also they still owe money for Hakimi. Supposedly they still owe money for Eriksen. It seems like they're really screwed financially, and there was a report that came out that no players are safe and that there's essentially a flash sale going on for Inter players. I think all the kind of, obviously, you know, we had a deal agreed or a fee agreed in principle, it just didn't go through. I think what's probably happened is the Lukaku deal has gone through, which has given them, you know, it's given them a good sum of money that helps to go towards their repayments and everything. And so what this just means is it will extend negotiations. So yeah, they might put up the price a little bit. I don't think they'll put it up a ton because it sounds like they're so screwed, but it depends how much we want him. I think if we do want him, we can go for him. It turned out we didn't have to spend all that money for Romero because it's a loan to buy. I think we've got the money to afford him. It just depends how much we do want him.
Yeah, I mean, it's all reported that saying if he does come in, it is to play with Harry Kane, but that can't be true, right?
I'm a bit funny on this one. I think Alistair Gold said, didn't he? There was a few other reports as well that the idea is to play two up front. I can see that happening because I know Nuno has done it before. I think he did it sometimes at Wolves as well with Jota and Jimenez up front. I can honestly see maybe when Kane's back, potentially going to 4-4-2 if we haven't got Martinez and so on, with like a Son and Kane at the front or something. I don't think that's for certain. I do think that, you know, maybe that could be negotiation tactics of some kind, but it would also make sense why we're going for a player like Martinez, because if we were trying to get a Kane replacement, I think the more kind of suitable replacement is Vlahovic.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely
he's more
agree.
of a similar kind of player, obviously not nearly as good, but he's a similar type of player, whereas Martinez is quite different. You know, he's so used to making those runs off of Lukaku in Inter. So it makes sense why Martinez would be the option to go up alongside with Kane.
Yeah, I completely. Yeah. Did you go to the game yesterday?
I didn't go to it. I was busy yesterday. I managed to watch the second half on my phone. Didn't catch the first half, but I hear it was kind of tale of two halves. We were good in the first 20 minutes or so. Then they kind of came into tendency for the second 20 minutes. But then for the second half, what I watched, because I watched it from like 50 minutes onwards, I just felt like we dominated them.
Yeah.
If I was an Arsenal fan, I would have been worried from what I saw. They just seemed so toothless. From what I saw, we could have scored at like 3 or 4. If anything, our finishing was quite lax.
Yeah.
And yeah, if I was Arsenal, I'd be worried.
And they are worried.
Always nice to see worrying Arsenal fans, I tell you that.
I mean, their pre-season's been awful. They've got what, like 1 victory over Watford or something?
Something like that.
Something like that. I mean,
you can't read too much into pre-season.
They lost to like Hibernian or something like that.
Chelsea.
They drew with Rangers. I mean, I know a lot of Arsenal fans were very worried after that Chelsea game because it was like a Chelsea C team and they lost.
And with us yesterday, that was without some of our best players. Obviously, without Romero just come in, without Kane, Lo Celso only came on the second half. No Ndombele.
What's your take on Ndombele, Dan?
I've gone back and forth on Ndombele quite a lot. I know, like me and Sam have kind of disagreed on him in the past. I know me and some other friends have disagreed on him. It's a difficult one because I really like him and I think he can be a top player. But it's getting to the point where I'm just wondering, maybe he's just not suited to this league.
That's the thing, though. But I think that he's shown that he is suited to the league. I think he's shown that in spits and spurts. But I think it's a consistency issue and you know, getting yourself fit so you can last 90 minutes week in, week out. And
that's
I think
that
it
is just for short bursts.
Yeah.
I think a player of that, because he's clearly got quality. We've seen it at Spurs. We saw it obviously when he was at Lyon. He's got the quality. But because maybe I think he's not suited to the league, he's not suited to physicality, his fitness isn't up there, he can only do it in short spurts. And that's why you'll see some games will have great, because even in the games, it's great moments. And then like for the rest of the game, he might be in and out of it. He's never, I barely even see him consistent for 90 minutes. I think one of the best performances I've seen him was when we smashed United 6-1. I do worry about him. I'm prepared to give him more time. He's a record signing, and I don't think that Levy will even let him go because he'd want at least the money back from him, if not more. So I think.
But how long do you give him? How long do you give him from now?
I don't know when his contract's up until. I think you give him one more season, because it's gonna be the third manager he's had. See if he does it under this manager, and then if he can't, maybe think about moving him on. But then once again, you're going to be making a loss on him either way, I think.
Yeah. All right, Dan. Absolute brilliant call. Good to chat to you, man.
Thanks very much, guys.
Nice one, Dan.
Come on, you Spurs.
See you.
See you later. Is there anyone else waiting? There is no one else waiting. There's one more super chat to get through from Essa El Shamari saying, "Morning, lads. I disagree with Eden. If it was agreed, Kane would have put out a statement right away."
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people are saying. I think if there was an agreement, you would have thought Spurs, the club, would have put out a statement, or Kane straight away would have put out a statement. The fact it took a week is a bit sus, as they say. I'm just, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about the situation at the moment. I don't want to believe that Kane has really let us down that badly, but it just does seem to be the case. I mean, I can't get away from it at the moment.
Very true. But it's interesting what Dan was saying, that it could have potentially happened at the beginning of last season as well.
It did. That's what The Athletic reported.
Wow.
When Kane came back last season, and that's why he was so sluggish against Everton, apparently, in the opening game. That's what they're claiming. And then it was hushed a bit because they didn't want to create anything, and Kane was staying. But maybe, I don't know, maybe it's different this summer. And before we leave, did you see Madueke yesterday?
Yeah,
scored a
brilliant
brace.
goal.
Brilliant brace.
First one was brilliant. I didn't see the second.
Also a very good goal.
Yeah.
So maybe he's coming into it this season.
Yeah, but Matt Hayes was just in the comments saying Madueke to Spurs ain't happening.
Yeah. Oh, is that what he said? Well, the managers, the PSV manager was after the game said we could sell Madueke, but maybe in 2 years' time he's going to be worth a lot more.
Yeah,
so why sell now?
Yeah.
So seems as though maybe they're going to hold off on a sale.
Matt Hayes in the comments, he's saying maybe Kane has done this every season, and that's why there's an August hoodoo.
Oh, good point. Matt Hayes with the absolute facts, I think it's a great theory. I like that theory. Every season he comes back late. We'll just keep it as a massive conspiracy. Keep it under the hush. Bob Spurs also sent us a tweet. Says, how long do you personally give Spurs and Kane to make a definitive decision? Surely knowing as soon as possible is for the betterment of the club. Big up, you two legends. Top four, here we come.
Though I don't think that's the case.
What, that the sooner that we deal with it, the better?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the sooner internally we deal with it, the better. But I think that fans and people outside of internally within the club need to be in the dark if he is leaving. That is because then clubs can just hold us to ransom.
Yeah,
for our replacements.
Good point. According to Talk Sport, it says Lautaro Martinez has decided to stay at Inter Milan this summer.
Yeah, I mean, it was very clear message from the agent yesterday, to be honest.
Yeah. But for the insider, still says Martinez has his heart set on Spurs.
Well, you know what? TalkSport and Footy Insider are two terrible publications. So
probably means he's definitely. If Footy Insider says he's got his heart set on Spurs, it means he definitely doesn't want to come. I think, unfortunately,
he's going to probably join Arsenal.
Exactly.
But look, I think that is all we have time for today for Good Morning Tottenham. You've got another Tottenham update coming your way today. So thank you, everyone, for joining. I mean, Pam Nelwyn with the comment here saying that was a brilliant vlog, Ben. Loved Grandad. Everyone loves Grandad. So yeah, thank you very much, Pam. And thank you, everyone, for viewing the super chats and everything this morning. We'll see you again tomorrow morning for another Good Morning Tottenham. But as for now, thank you, everyone, for joining us. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.